Your body makes a compound right now that it uses to manage pH, protect tissues, and buffer acidity. Your stomach lining produces it. Your pancreas releases it. It's part of your body's own internal management system. And after 60, your body makes less of it than it used to. One of the tissues most sensitive to that decline is your prostate. I want to walk you through this clearly because most men over 60 have never heard this connection explained in a way that makes sense. Many men tell me their prostate symptoms have been explained in one of two ways. Either it is an enlarged prostate pressing on the urethra, which is true but incomplete, or it's just part of getting older, which is also true but not especially helpful. What rarely gets discussed is the tissue environment itself, the pH, the inflammatory state, the conditions inside the prostate that affect how you feel day to day. The pH is simply a measure of how acidic or alkaline something is on a scale from 0 to 14, with 7 being neutral. Let me explain what's actually happening inside the prostate tissue and why this. The prostate is a gland enclosed in a capsule. That confined space makes it uniquely sensitive to its local chemical environment. When the pH inside that tissue shifts toward a more acidic state, it promotes low-grade inflammation. That inflammation affects how the tissue behaves and how you feel when you urinate. It's not just about size pressing on the urethra, it's also about the conditions inside the tissue itself. Think of it this way, your prostate tissue has a preferred environment. When that environment stays balanced, the tissue is less reactive and less inflamed. When it becomes more acidic, the tissue becomes more irritated. This explains why the symptoms of many men are not the same every day. Some days feel worse than others. That variability fits an inflammatory pattern much better than a fixed mechanical obstruction. Now let me connect this to the compound your body already makes. Bicarbonate is your body's primary way of buffering acidity in tissues. It's not just for your stomach. It circulates and helps maintain a stable pH environment throughout your body. Your kidneys play a central role in regulating how much bicarbonate is available. As the years pass, your body's bicarbonate production tends to decline. Your kidneys become less efficient at conserving it. When systemic bicarbonate levels drop, tissues that are sensitive to pH changes feel the effects. Your prostate is one of those tissues. The buffering capacity that once kept the local environment stable starts to weaken. The tissue becomes more vulnerable to acidic shifts. And those shifts trigger or worsen the inflammatory processes that affect your urinary comfort. This is about a whole body shift that your prostate happens to be particularly sensitive to. A study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that sodium bicarbonate supplementation slowed the decline of kidney function in older adults by supporting the body's pH buffering system. Other research, including work from the Medical College of Georgia, has examined how bicarbonate affects inflammatory markers and immune signaling. What this body of research suggests is that supporting your pH buffering system helps reduce the inflammatory signals that contribute to tissue irritation. Several studies have found that bicarbonate can lower certain inflammatory markers, particularly in situations where low-grade chronic inflammation is present. Now, your kidneys and your prostate share a pH regulation relationship. Your kidneys manage systemic pH by controlling how much bicarbonate stays in your body. When kidney function changes, which happens to all of us as we get older, the entire pH regulation system shifts. Your prostate sits downstream of that system. It depends on a stable pH environment. And when the kidneys become less efficient at maintaining that stability, the prostate tissue experiences more fluctuation. When prostate tissue sits in a more acidic environment, it tends to become more inflamed. Inflammation makes the tissue swell slightly, become more sensitive, and react more strongly to normal stimuli. This is why your symptoms flare up some days and settle down on others. It is why you might feel more urgency even when your bladder is not especially full. It is why your stream might feel weaker or more interrupted. These are not just mechanical problems. They are inflammatory patterns, and inflammation is where bicarbonate can make a difference. Several studies have found that bicarbonate can lower certain inflammatory markers. It calms some of the immune signals that drive low-grade tissue inflammation. This is about providing enough buffering support so that your prostate tissue maintains a more stable, less reactive environment. When the inflammatory drive quiets down, the tissue settles, and when the tissue settles, the symptoms that bother you most tend to improve. That's the connection. So, Let me briefly restate what we have covered before we get practical. Your prostate is sensitive to its pH environment. Your body uses bicarbonate to buffer that environment. Bicarbonate production declines with age, and that decline can leave your prostate tissue more vulnerable to inflammation and the symptoms that come with it. There are two ways to use bicarbonate for your prostate. One is internal, one is external. I will walk you through both so you understand how each one works and who each one is best suited for. Let's start with the internal approach. This means taking a small amount of sodium bicarbonate dissolved in water. The starting dose I suggest is 1/4 teaspoon in a full glass of water. Picture a standard drinking glass, not a small cup. You want enough water to dilute the bicarbonate fully. Stir it until the water runs clear. That's a low dose. It's enough to support your body's buffering system without overwhelming your stomach. Timing matters here. I recommend taking it in the early evening. Your prostate symptoms tend to be more noticeable at night. Taking bicarbonate a few hours before bed gives your body time to absorb it and put it to use during the hours when you need the support most. If you have kidney disease, if you have heart failure, if you are on a sodium-restricted diet, or if you take certain blood pressure medications, this isn't for you without a conversation with your doctor first. Sodium bicarbonate contains sodium. That's something you need to be aware of if you're managing your blood pressure. If you are generally healthy and not in any of those categories, start with that 1/4 teaspoon. Stay at that dose for several days. Notice how your body responds. Some men notice a little bloating at first. That's usually mild and temporary. If it bothers you, stay at the low dose or stop. Don't push through discomfort. After a week or so, if you're tolerating it well, consider moving up to 1/2 teaspoon, but do not go beyond that without medical guidance. More is not better here. The goal is gentle support. Your body's buffering system doesn't need a flood. Now, the second approach is external, and for some men, this is actually the better place to start. A warm sitz bath with baking soda delivers bicarbonate through the perineal area. That's the area between the scrotum and the rectum. The tissue there is thin and absorbent. Bicarbonate can pass through and reach the pelvic region without going through your digestive system. This matters for two reasons. First, it delivers bicarbonate closer to where you want it to work. Second, and this is important, it puts far less sodium into your bloodstream. For men who need to watch their sodium intake, the sitz bath may be the smarter option. You get the local benefit with much less systemic exposure. Here's how to do it. Fill a sitz bath or a clean shallow basin with warm water. You want it comfortably warm, not hot. Test it with your wrist the way you would test a baby's bottle. Add 1/2 cup of baking soda and stir until it dissolves. The water will look slightly cloudy. That's normal. Sit in the bath for about 20 minutes. Do this in the evening if you can. The warmth increases blood flow to the area and helps with absorption. If you don't have a sitz bath, use a clean washcloth instead. Soak it in the warm baking soda solution, wring it out slightly so it's not dripping, and apply it as a warm compress to the perineal area. Re-wet it when it cools. Same 20 minutes, same 1/2 cup of baking soda. It's a simple method, but it works. You can use the internal approach, the external approach, or both. That's a conversation to have with your doctor based on your specific situation. What I want you to take away is that you have options. You're not stuck with one path, and you can adjust based on how your body responds. Now let's talk about what to expect. The changes tend to be gradual. The first few days can be inconsistent. Some men notice a difference within a week. For others, it takes 2 or 3 weeks before the pattern becomes clear. Give it time. Your body is adjusting to additional buffering support. That doesn't happen in a day. Track how many times you wake up at night to urinate. That's your primary marker. Write it down or just make a mental note. After a week, look at the pattern. Has the number changed? Even going from 3 times a night down to 2 is meaningful. Going from 2 down to 1 is significant. Sleeping through the night even once or twice a week is progress. Notice the quality of your stream as well. Does it feel stronger? Does your bladder feel like it empties more completely? Those are good signs. Notice how you feel during the day. Is there less of that constant awareness of your bladder? Less urgency when you feel the need to go? These are the markers that tend to shift when the tissue environment starts to settle. And notice your energy. This is something men often overlook. When you stop waking up multiple times a night, your sleep quality improves. When your sleep improves, everything else improves. Your patience, your focus, your ability to be present with the people you care about. There are some things you should watch for that would mean you need to stop and call your doctor. If you notice unusual swelling in your feet or ankles, stop. If your blood pressure readings start to change, stop. If you feel short of breath, stop. These are not common at the low doses I have described, but you need to know what to look for. I also want to spend a moment on the everyday things that work alongside bicarbonate. These are not complicated, but they make a real difference when combined with the approach I have described. Staying hydrated is probably the simplest and most overlooked factor. When you are dehydrated, your urine becomes more concentrated and more acidic. That concentrated urine can irritate the prostate tissue and the bladder lining. Drink enough water throughout the day, but start tapering off in the late afternoon and evening. That simple habit alone can reduce nighttime waking noticeably. What you eat in the evening matters too. Large meals late at night put pressure on your pelvic area simply from the volume of food in your digestive system. Spicy foods irritate the bladder directly. Caffeine in the afternoon and evening increase urinary urgency for hours afterward. And managing stress plays a bigger role than most men realize. Chronic stress raises inflammatory signals throughout your body. That includes your prostate tissue. When your nervous system is constantly on alert, your whole body sits in a more inflamed state. You don't need a complicated stress management program. A walk in the evening helps. A few minutes of quiet before bed. Slowing your breathing down for even 2 or 3 minutes. Whatever helps you settle your nervous system will also help settle your prostate tissue over time. So let me bring this together. Your body already makes bicarbonate. Production declines as you get older. Your prostate is one of the tissues most affected by that decline. Supporting your body's buffering system with a low dose of oral bicarbonate, or a sitz bath, or both, help maintain a more stable tissue environment, less acidity, less inflammation, more comfort. You now understand a connection that only a small fraction of men over 60 ever hear about. Not because it's complicated, because it sits just outside the standard conversation about prostate health. You know that your prostate is sensitive to pH. You know that bicarbonate is your body's own buffer. You know that production drops with age and that you can do something practical about it. If this has been helpful, I would invite you to share your experience in the comments. What have you tried for your prostate comfort? What has worked and what hasn't? Your experience matters. It helps other men who are looking for the same answers, and it helps me understand what you need more of. Please subscribe if you would like more evidence-informed guidance for your health after 60. And as always, talk with your doctor before starting anything new. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.